at some point, I could get close to him. But then I said to him, can I come and sit behind your back? And we sit back to back. And he was in absolute terror again, because the attacker had approached him from the back. So in that moment, I remember specifically, the terror became so big for him that I could trace him into the child, the frozen child, that, as I spoke about yesterday, that place in which the child in us gets so overwhelmed with feeling that she just shuts down. She just shuts down. And I started speaking to this frozen child, and the child started speaking and coming up with what he still needed to say. And so throughout the day, throughout the whole weekend, we were doing exercises like this. Slowly giving him the opportunity to find his own truth. What is real? What is real danger here? Can you see? Can you see the mechanism? He's got the opportunity to start feeling what is real danger. His nervous system is sensing, is learning to sense, because the association has been so big and so overwhelming that everything has become dangerous. So gradually we could get to a place where at the end of the weekend, this terrified man was lying in my arms like a little baby for half an hour, holding on to me like a little monkey that's just like sucking my breasts, and completely dissolved in bliss. And the beautiful thing about the story is, he phoned me the next day, and he said to me, I must tell you what happened. I drove home from a session, and I suddenly felt my hand on the steering wheel. And it was so awesome for me, this experience, that I had to stop because I was going to make an accident. So I said to him, what do you mean? And he said, it's such an awesome thing. He says, do you realize what an awesome thing it is, the feelings that go through your hands? His feeling was starting to come back, and the intensity of the sensation, it was like a baby that's being born and for the first time can feel, breaking through that body armoring, and suddenly his hand is feeling again, feeling. I remember him stepping him out of that session, and suddenly he was going, wow, this smell, what is it? And this taste, what is this? It's like every sense in his body, it just completely opened up. And the magnitude, we talk about sort of extrasensory perception. It's there, We just need to get out of the way. He was so in extrasensory perception. He could have felt and sensed auras there. It was marked in his case because the body armoring had been so defined, and there was the dropping of it that happened. So the interesting thing about bliss, which is a mechanism that we use in Tantra, is that your capacity to feel is your capacity to feel. Your capacity to feel bliss is equal to your capacity to feel whatever else there is to be felt in your life. If there's pain to be felt, if there's terror to be felt, if there's anger to be felt, if you're not willing to go to the depths of your own feeling, sorry, it's not available for you. The heights are also not available. Does that make sense? Feeling is...
Sadness to this depth means I can have joy to this depth, means I can have anger to this depth.
Exactly. And I noticed it once when I was running a retreat, and the challenge that I'd given people in the retreat was, how much bliss can you stand? And they came to me at some point and they said to me, how do you manage to be able to cope with so much bliss? Because they were watching me being pretty blissed out most of the time. And I sat with it and I thought about it, and I suddenly realized that my training in Tantra has been mostly going to the depths of my feelings around rejection, abandonment, betrayal, anger, fury, dismemberment, death. That has been my training, has been willing to sit in the fire of that. And because of that, it's okay, I'm not afraid to sit in front of the possibility of rejection. I don't need to put up body armoring. Your capacity to feel is your capacity to feel. So when in tantric lovemaking, you start to make love, as Stephen had said, in that way where sex is just sex, where you're meeting in the real of the moment, don't be surprised if there suddenly is this incredible roar that comes out of you, or a scream, or laughter that has you don't know where it's coming from or what it's about. And it's not about analyzing it or trying to find out what it is. It's just that your capacity to feel is your capacity to feel. So conversely, as deep as you allow yourself to go into your bliss, so much of what is still to be resolved and felt in you, in the mud, in your unconscious, will also surface to be felt. And isn't that a beautiful thing? Because if we want to play with this challenge of how much bliss can you stand, hey, here we are with all of who we are. And what is bliss? Is bliss a dual state? Is it something which has an opposite? Or is it maybe that place where our light and our darkness come together, where the depths of our grief, centuries of ancestry that have died, memories of things traumatic, our resonance with the pain of the planet, where our grief gets felt completely, and as well our ecstasy and our delight gets felt, and that we welcome both.
Synthesis of delight and suffering.
Yeah, it's like they start to coexist.
Synthesis of delight and suffering.
Coexist. Have any of you ever felt that? The sweetness in the middle of the depths of pain, when you allow it, when you say yes to those tears,
Just knowing that exercise.
very beautiful. Yeah. It's 5 o'clock. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Shakti.
Glad you enjoyed it.